it now.
Okay,
Okay, so
on
we are
air.
on air. Wonderful. Welcome to our IELTS speaking exam class. We're going to be focusing on the first and second parts. Again, we're having some technical issues. We do have some students in the class, which is fantastic. So basically, what I want to do today is prepare you for your IELTS exam. Okay, so basically what you need to know, the IELTS speaking part is between 11 and 14 minutes, okay? And that's just maybe the minimum to the maximum. And so the first part of the exam, you're focusing on yourself and your family. That's pretty easy. Something to get warmed up, something to practice. And so we can talk about this in just a second here, but I'd just like to talk about the three parts of the exam to begin with. Okay, so like I said, the first part is talking about yourself and your family, and then the second part is called the topic area. And what is that? The topic area is where they will give you kind of, I think it's called a cue or a task, and they will basically tell you what to say and what to talk about. Okay, and then you have a minute or two to prepare that, and then you will speak about the topic. And I do have some examples of those as well. And then the last part, the third part, is where you have a longer discussion about the second part. And so it's just a continuation of the second part of the speaking exam. So first part is about you and yourself, then you have a topic, and the third part is just a continuation of that topic. Okay? And again, all of that will take between 11 and 14 minutes, depending on how long you speak and things like that. Okay, so any questions so far? Pretty simple. Good. Dan, I'm so glad to see you in here. I'm glad that worked. How did you end up getting through? Was it through the Intengo website or was it through the email?
On email.
Okay, great. Just to know, and was that from the Simmons company? Because it shouldn't have been from me directly, but fantastic. I'm glad it worked. So at least now I have a couple options for the future. Okay, so again, the first part of the exam, yourself and family. So we can talk about a couple different things because I have students today. This will be even better. I don't have to talk to myself. So the first part is, for example, let's talk about your home or village. And they'll say, what kind of place is it? So why don't you three ladies first, Lucia, why don't we talk about this? What kind of place is it? Maybe what's the most interesting part? And we can talk about jobs that people do there if you'd like, and if it's a good place to live. So I'll just type a couple things in the chat box for you, and then all three of you can answer that. So what kind of place? Where's my chat here? So what kind of place is it? The best part about it? I talk about jobs, and then the last part was, is it a good place to live? And why? Okay. So, Lucia, would you like to go first? Ladies first?
Okay.
Okay. You can
What
begin
kind of...
whenever you like.
Sorry?
You can begin whenever you would like, that's all.
Okay. What kind of place is it? What place? My place?
Yep, where you live. This is all about where you live.
Oh, my city is the best city in the world. I
Why?
think, yeah, because we are next to the sea, next to the mountains, and the weather it's quite often beautiful. Here, there is not too much rain. The temperature it's often good. I mean, today we have 21 degrees, more or less. There is a sunny day, and yeah. My city is not too big, and yes, it's a beautiful place to live, in my opinion. And about my job, I work in a gym as a consultant. I like my job because I'm always in touch with all kinds of people, from young until old. And yes, in my place, there is always music, so it's yeah, I like my job, and yes, that's it.
Okay, well that's great then. And I should have been more specific, so this is my fault. But when I have jobs, it was jobs that you find in your town. So that was perfectly fine. You did a great description. And so maybe Dan, would you like to go next? Would you like to try this part?
I try.
Perfect.
My home city is Craiova, Romania. We are in south of Romania. We have 4 seasons. The summer are very hot, and the winter very frozy. But it's a beautiful city. It's a university center here, with large parks. There is the second natural park, second largest natural park from Europe. I don't know. The people are very, very funny, and like all the people from the south, we speak more quickly than the others, more joyful, and I don't know. There are also a lot of museums. Yeah, I don't know.
Is that
It's very
basically
hard.
it?
It's more easy to talk
Okay.
about anything else. It's a pretty city. We have a Ford usine, if I can say, factory. Ford factory.
Okay.
It's not a very very rich city, but some the middle one. Not too rich, not too poor. Uh, it's okay with a lot of malls, commercial center, um, parks, cinema. Uh,
Okay,
um,
great. Well, I think that's a good description. So thank you for that. And Chara, would you like to go next? Would you like to describe your town or village? Chad, I don't think I heard you speak before when I was using my phone. Do you have a microphone today? Okay, maybe not. So that's perfectly fine. Chad, if you are able to speak to us, just let us know and we can go ahead and you can go ahead and talk to us. So the next part they have, and you know what, this just might be easy if I can copy and paste this. And it looks like I'll be be able to do that. So that's quite helpful. It's talking about accommodation, and accommodation is where you live. Okay, so this is exactly what it said. Tell me about the kind of accommodation you live in. How long have you lived there, and what do you like about living there? What sort of accommodation would you most like to live in? Okay, so maybe I'll do an example for this. So accommodation, well, I've lived here for 4 years and 7 days now. It's okay, Chada, don't worry. Okay, so like I said, 4 years and 7 days because I moved in June 1st of, has to be 2012. And what do I like about living here? Well, I moved in with my boyfriend, and so that's something I enjoy. I also have 2 cats, which is obvious that I enjoy them. And what sort of accommodation would I most like to live in? Honestly, if I could be in the same on the same street but in a house, I think that would be perfect for me. Being American, I'm used to growing up in. I grew up in a house with a big garden and things like that, and so I'm quite used to big areas and lots of space. And being in a small apartment flat was a bit of a challenge at first. I'm now used to it, but eventually I will have a family, and I would love to have a house in the center of the city. So I'm not asking too much, but that would be ideal for me. Okay, so that's my little example. Would anyone else like to volunteer? I guess it's just Lucia and Dan today. Unfortunately, Chad won't be able to communicate with us through speaking, but through typing you can chat us. So if you'd like to answer the question, you can do that, and then either I can read it or someone else can read it. Okay, so Dan, you're still unmuted, so we're able to hear you. Would you like to answer this question?
Yes. I live in an apartment, a flat, but it's a pretty good, larger, but it's a flat. Like you say, I like to live in a house with a little garden because almost everything in a block of flat, someone listen the music, someone drill something, change the furniture, so on, and a house is a house on the ground with a little garden.
I'd say that sounds perfect. There was someone who just moved their chair upstairs, and you were saying people move their furniture. I can definitely agree with that. And people just talking in the hallways or the front door opening a lot sometimes, and things like that. So definitely, you definitely hear a lot more noise when you live in an apartment building.
Yes, yes, it's more cheaper to live in a flat than in a house, but it isn't the same package. Noise and
There's some negative qualities to living in a
yeah,
flat. So yeah.
as you say, when I was a child, I spent my childhood in the countryside and grandpa uh, with a lot of garden with um, a lot of trees.
Like a
Uh,
forest
cherry.
or just open space, countryside, grass.
Yes, yes, and now in the middle of the city, tram, traffic jam.
There's that's I think one extreme to the other extreme. I think you did that quite well. And I think what is it called, a cement forest? There's something related to nature, but when you're living in the middle of a city, um, like a cement forest or a cement something. It won't come to me today. I'm sure it won't, but absolutely. Okay, great. Anything else to add before we ask Lucia?
Uh, No. Okay.
Okay, great. Well, thank you for that. Lucia, it is now your turn. So why don't you tell us about where you live, what you like about living there? Dan and I mentioned things that we don't like, but
As I mentioned before, I am quite lucky because we have a lots of places for hanging out. In summer, especially, we have long beaches, and yes, we can go out. We are always in our holidays because uh, it's you can simply go on the beach and in the weekend, and you are in your holiday, and yes. I'm quite lucky. And also downstairs in my flat, I have a little, a small park, small playground, and yes, we have a lot of space.
so you live in a flat, correct?
Yeah. But it's
Oh.
a small building. Yes. So downstairs we have a small playground, and yeah, because it's
Okay.
also yeah, three floors.
Okay, so I thought you lived in a house. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, and yes, that's it. I'm quite lucky. And besides, we have a lot of cinema. Uh, how called multisala? Multivision,
Multi-room,
yeah, yes,
a mall,
yes.
shopping center.
Yes, in a mall, lots of malls, and yeah, we have a lot of things to do in our spare time.
Okay.
Unfortunately, we don't have a big theater.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, this is a pity because it would be great to have a theater.
Probably for some concerts or something like that you
Yeah,
like.
yeah. Concerts, rock concerts, of course.
Of course.
Placed in the stadium. Yeah.
Okay, great. So thank you very much, Lucy. I think that answered our question as well. My next part, so this would be the ideal kind of first part situation. Excuse me. So you talk about yourself, your family maybe, or where you live, things like that. Now the second part, here is an example question. And it says describe something you own which is very important to you. And then it tells you, so it's the situation, and then it tells you what you should say. It says where you got it from, how long you've had it, what you use it for, and explain why it is important to you. Now, I'm struggling here between two objects. And the first object I would probably say is my cat. It's not, she's not really an object, but I am her owner, so I suppose I do own her. um, and with that, I could easily answer all of these questions, or I would probably say my mobile phone, my cell phone, just because it's so useful for so many different things. So maybe I'll talk about my cat and do something a little different, something unexpected maybe. Um, so I got her actually from a friend. It was a gift from my boyfriend, and it's almost been 4 years since we've had her. She's just behind my computer, sleeping, of course. And so, like I said, we've had her for about just under 4 years. What I use her for is affection and hugs when I need them, when I'm feeling sad, when I have 5 minutes to relax. I just lay down with my cats, or I hug them, and so they're to support me. And then, well, my cat or my cats, both, they're just important to me because they are just like family. I couldn't imagine what life would be these days without my cats, and they're so cute and cuddly. So definitely important to have them in my life right now. And again, for my mobile phone, I could say basically the same thing. Excuse me. Where I got it online, actually. I've had this phone for probably 3 months, I would say. I use it for everything, from a calculator to a calendar to speaking with people on the phone, messaging people, Facebook, the basics. And it's important because it helps me keep in contact with everyone in real time, is what we call that. This is also real time. You're hearing me speak and communicating with me in real time. So I think that's the important, for me, the important object, not just animal. Chada says, my family, my pets, and my studies, those are the most important things in my life. Okay, very good. So if you'd like, you can explain why. And so between Dan and Lucia, who would like to answer this question first?
Lady first.
Are you still thinking, Dan? Lucia, are you ready for this one? Go on, she says. Well, I just gave 2 examples, so. Dan, would you like to,
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Like you said, I may say I own a little pet, a bichon. Her name is Tora, and she's very sweet. Every time when come home from the job, she tickle pink. Uh, she she enjoy to see us, and she's very sweet. Um, I don't know. We so in the evening we have we have to to make wake. We are working. We are working every evening. We have to in parks, on the alley, around the block. Um, Unfortunately, the program is full. We have to work in the morning, at noon, and in the evening. It's not a cat. It's a little dog, but she's the cutest animal. Um, Especially in the winter when the fur is bigger, and after we comb her, it's pretty cute.
Very
Um,
good.
yeah. The the second thing, I don't know, maybe the phone or the tablet. It's indispensable for everyone nowadays. Um, since in the morning, where after we wake up, check the Facebook, check the news, check the mails. After while I drinking the coffee, and it's very important things.
Absolutely. Very good. Well, thank you very much, Dan. Let's see. Lucia, are you ready now?
Yes.
Perfect. With attitude. All right.
Okay, I have two objects. The first one is my stereo. Uh, it's the old one. I mean, I have it for a long time. I don't remember how many times, but for a long time. And yes, it's my stereo. It's beautiful, and like I said, it's old one. I can put on it long plane and also tapes. Yes, and radio, everything I want. I have a lot of long plane, but I think 70. Yes, and I I use it uh, as much as I can. Because I like music. I like mostly singing, and I I sing every time because makes me feel very good. So this is my first object. The second one is my microwave. Yeah, um, because I'm also a good cook, but I have small time, a little time, because always busy for work, for studying English. And yes, it helps me when I am in a hurry. And yeah, these are my two objects for today.
Very good. Well, thank you. Actually, that's very creative as well. And all I want to say here is there are some more kind of follow-up questions, we call them. So maybe you talk about your object, and then the person who's examining you or doing the examination might ask you, for example, is it valuable in terms of money, or would it be easy to replace? And so this is a little bit more information. Maybe you're not talking for 4 minutes as a monologue, and so you need to add some more information. And so we can talk about these things. So is it valuable in terms of money? My phone, sure. My cat, absolutely not. And easy to replace? My phone, sure. And my cat, absolutely not. So, I mean, you can go into more depth and more details, but I'll let the students practice today. So who would like to go first? And talking about the same item from before. Okay? Or items, I should say. We all said two.
Then it's your turn.
Same order, same order. So Dan, why don't you go ahead and answer both of these questions, okay?
Yes. The first being my dog, the little Bichon. I don't know. At first, was very hard to accept a dog in an apartment. I bought it. I bought her for my little daughter, and I have to confess now, it's a family member. It's not replaceable. It's now one of us. Um, she's 6 years now, and 6 years it's from our family. And if we talk about technology, about a phone, about a tablet, so anytime it's placed for better for better one. um, it's more easy after one year, maybe two, depends. Uh, the the performance is out, and we need a new one. But a being is not replaceable. We love her. We attach very hard of her, and as I said, it's a family member.
All right, well, wonderful. Thank you very much for your response. And Lucia, how about you? Why don't you answer both of these questions?
Yes, of course, both of the items are variable in terms of money, and I'm fond of my stereo actually, but I can sing instead. And about my microwave, as I said before, I am a good cook. Yes, I can replace it.
Okay.
These are only stuff, things. Yes, they are replaceable.
Absolutely. No, that's perfect. So that was great. So any questions? I mean, we only have a couple minutes left, and so that was great. So again, basically, it's not too difficult. Actually, let me go ahead and see. Um, Part three obviously would be something similar, and so as we were talking about items and important things to us, the last part, you can actually, this question is, let's consider first of all how people's values have changed. Okay, and so they're taking a little bit of that topic and adding a little bit more. So this is one of those ideas that we could talk about. Again, there's not much time, so I might just have to explain this a little bit. And then they might ask you kind of another question about something, and so let me just paste those there. Okay, so let's see, where's this? Okay, so let's consider first of all how people's values have changed. Okay, so Lucia, for you, maybe that your stereo has like a cassette player. Maybe for kids these days, it wouldn't be very valuable, and so that's how things can change. It depends on your age, your generation. I think it depends on the kind of person too, because my parents, for example, aren't animal people. They just, I never had a dog or a cat growing up, and so to my parents, they don't understand the relationship I have with my animals. My mom does; she had cats, but my dad certainly doesn't. So I think that depends as well. And again, I'm more of a cat person than a dog person, but it's not that I don't like dogs. I just prefer cats. So again, it just depends on the person. Another one says, what kind of things give status to people in your country? Okay, so this is probably money, cars, maybe fashionable clothing, brands, things like that. Have things changed since your parents' time? And I can definitely say all three of us can say yes. Now, that's when you would talk a little bit more in depth about the details, but because, again, we don't have a lot of time. And then it says, finally, let's talk about the role of advertising. Okay, so nowadays, with all the technology and things, advertising might be a little different. Advertising, it can be, I'm not an advertising expert, but it can be used in many different ways, directed towards a certain group of people, a certain age group, a certain type of person, people that have money or don't. Okay, so it depends on who you want to buy the product. That's who you're going to target. And so with that, it will depend on the colors that you use, maybe the ideas that you have, if it's a real situation or a cartoon. Okay? And then, do you think advertising influences what people buy? I would say yes. Depending on how you advertise, again, it depends on the situation, depends on who you want to target. So those are just some other examples that might happen or might come up in the third part of the speaking exam. So now that we've seen a little bit of everything, Dan and Lucia, do we have any questions before we finish up for today?
No, I don't have.
Okay.
It's gonna change. I have a lot of things to say. Um, the time is in a speed change. It's in a turning. In now in digital era, everything is changed, and the older are overwhelmed by the speed of change, and they try to keep up, but they are overwhelmed. At least in our country, we were communist country, and now we discover the democracy, and it's overwhelming for the older people. And the road advertising, it's madness. Um, you buy something you don't need, but it's an offer, and I saw the bog off buy one get one free. Uh, buy something that never use it.
Exactly. There's schemes like that. There's little tricks that
Yeah.
they do. Here, buy this and you get this free. Well, I don't need that item, but it's free, so I'll take it. And
Yes.
people love when it's free.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Good. Thanks, Dan. And Lucia, would you like to
Thank you.
comment on anything before we end class today?
I agree with Dan. I think nowadays things are too quickly, and yeah, we can keep up everything. Yes, in technology, the things change so fast, and yes, it's a crazy, it's crazy, and yeah. I can add that nowadays. Unfortunately, the value it's the money. Now the money is the king of everything. Yeah, that's the real value seems has disappeared.
Yes.
Honesty, behavior, I don't know, culture, I don't
Real
know.
life.
Yeah, real life, yeah, yeah, true.
Good substance of life in the fresh air, playing outside and kids and
Even when you watching children playing, it's different. I mean, my my time, and it's sometimes is a little bit sad because
I was
yes, they aren't able to enjoy small things. So.
I would say they're not able to enjoy real situations.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
enjoying virtual situations.
Yes, yes. Yeah, that's it. And yes, advertising influences, I think, a lot, but always also social media. Social media nowadays, they are bombard you from everything. So uh, you have to able to choose the right things from the bad things. It's not simple.
Absolutely. It's not, especially these days with seeing everything from all over the place, and you're not sure who to believe or what to believe anymore. So,
Yeah.
absolutely. Okay. Well, we have finished, and I'm not sure what happens with the channel, the YouTube channel at this time, since it's 4:01 here. So thank you very much both for joining, and hopefully we can, at least we found a way to get you in the room. So that makes me happy. Thank you to the viewers. I know at least one person was watching. I did see that. So thank you, and thank you to those who will watch, but that have finished watching. All right. Well, everyone enjoy your day. Thank you very much. And I'm going to stop broadcasting now, so thank you.
Well, thank